Hey guys, what's up? So I understand it's been a long time since I've made a video. I've been very busy with all sorts of things, including settling in and working and everything like that. So we got the Christmas holidays coming up here in Italy, so it's been really quite busy for us at the moment. So I've not really had a lot of time to make any videos or updates or anything like that, so my apologies. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about general teaching English in Italy and what the TEFL situation is like here in Italy. So, to start off, most TEFL jobs in Italy that the average teacher will come to are in private language academies as opposed to in public schools. So there are public school jobs about, but most foreign teachers who come to Italy teach in private language academies such as the one that I work at myself. So, generally speaking, schools in Italy, along with most other European countries, have a strong preference for teachers with European Union passports, obviously because it's so much easier to hire teachers who have an EU passport than it is those who don't. So I don't know all of the ins and outs of getting a visa and a work permit for those of you who are non-EU, because I have a British passport myself, so I don't have to worry about that. But there are a few North American, Australian teachers who are hanging around in Italy. There are gigs there for them, but as far as I know, I don't know how they come or if they have EU nationality or dual nationality or something like that. So I'm afraid I don't know how they get their work permits, but there are a few out there. So don't lose hope if you are an American or a Canadian or a New Zealander or something, a South African who doesn't have EU nationality. There are ways, it's just I don't really know how to do it myself. So yes, most schools and language academies in Italy have a strong preference for teachers who have European passports. So obviously British and Irish teachers are much more in demand and much more common to see here than North American teachers. Okay, so my school in particular that I work at follows the Cambridge English curriculum. I think generally speaking a lot of the schools across Europe do follow this curriculum, but not all of them. But my school does follow the Cambridge English curriculum. Teachers in language academies, so that typically they will be split between the academy itself and also different kind of some of the other schools or corporate gigs that they may well be sent to. So for me, I split my time between the academy I'm based at and also another public school on the other side of town where I go and teach English to some of the students there. And I teach there 5 days a week, but not all day. So my typical day for me teaching in Italy, it is quite a long day, but the hours are generally quite broken up and they are quite mixed up as well. So normally I teach Monday to Friday, although there is possibility of needing to work on a Saturday morning as well, but that's not every Saturday. So most of the time I only teach Monday to Friday. I'll get up fairly early in the morning, maybe 7 or 8 o'clock, in order to go and teach at the public school, which is where I first get sent to, so I have to catch a bus and go over there. Bus travel is reimbursed by the school, thankfully, so that's okay. After I finish there, I'll maybe do 2 or 3 classes there. I'll come back to the academy where I normally teach classes here in the afternoon or the evening. So the language academies in Italy are generally open around the clock. Sometimes they'll close for a good couple of hours during the midday period, so they tend to follow the similar siesta pattern that's found in a lot of Mediterranean countries. So yeah, a lot of the time teachers who work in Italy won't just spend all their time at one language academy, but they may be sent to other places as well. Maybe for business English teaching, maybe to another public school, maybe to another corporation or something who wants to learn English. And those other jobs that you get sent on can vary from being very good, like mine is, to having students who really don't care because they are simply forced to study English. My students generally are very good. The students that I've had so far have been absolutely brilliant. In Italy, I mostly teach teenagers and adults in comparison to Thailand, where I mostly taught kids. Same for Spain, I mostly taught kids. Most of my classes here in Italy are with teenagers or adult students. They can be very motivated, very keen to learn. They're very curious about English and everything, and they're always coming up to me and asking questions. Also, my students are very, very well behaved for the most part. Like, they're very well behaved, very respectful to their teachers, and they're just very keen to learn, and you can really have a good time with them. They're even better behaved than the students I had in Thailand. Like, they can be really good. I mean, obviously, not all are like that. There's going to be bad apples, but just for me personally, I think I've gotten very lucky that I have had good students for the most part, so far throughout the year anyway. So yeah. In the academy itself, most of the classes are maximum of about 10 to 12 students per class. My classes here tend to be about 5 or 6 students, or one-on-ones that I have here at the academy, as opposed to working in a public school where you could be dealing with 25, 30 upward students of all levels, abilities, and all interests, or lack of, in learning English. So I do enjoy my gig that I've got at the moment. It is a very good fun, and I really like my students who I've got now for the most part. So salaries in Italy are not brilliant. I'm not going to lie. They're not brilliant in comparison to places like South Korea or Saudi Arabia, Middle East, etc., etc. However, the lifestyle here is absolutely brilliant. So people come here not particularly for the money, but for the standard of living that you can get. It's European. We've got all the culture, all the food, and everything that everyone knows of. And the salaries are livable. Like, they are livable salaries, especially if you're quite frugal with your money. The local food is very cheap and it's very good quality. And especially where I live in the south of the country, living costs are generally quite cheap in comparison to your earnings. So salaries are not brilliant, but they are livable. And I would much rather be here on an average salary than being in somewhere like Saudi Arabia on a really good salary but having no life. So for me, the quality of life and the standard of living outweighs salaries, but for you, that depends on entirely whether you're a financially motivated person or just someone who enjoys the quality of life better. Okay, so requirements of teachers in Italy. Generally speaking, teachers in Italy need to have experience of maybe 1 or 2 previous years of TEFL or teaching in your home country in order to come here. So they don't tend to hire newly qualified college graduates here. You tend to need to have a little bit more experience before you can get here. So for me, I have 3 years experience in Thailand, as well as experience in Spain before I came here to Italy. But generally speaking, yeah, you do need a bit more experience and qualifications to come here. Most teachers have a degree. I think some don't have degrees, but most and all the ones I know do have college degrees, as well as either a TEFL or a CELTA, and CELTAs are very much in demand. I don't have a CELTA and I'm still employed here, but I am planning to do my CELTA as soon as I have the money to pursue that thing. But CELTAs, pretty much if you have a CELTA and a couple of years experience in Italy, a couple of years experience from elsewhere, then you're going to be fine here. You're going to have no problems finding a job. Although I don't have a CELTA, but I do have a couple of years experience plus a degree, and I still managed okay. Obviously, preference is given to those with European nationality, I'm afraid. So for those of you who are North American or Australian, preference is given to those who do have European EU passports. But there is still employment out there for you, so don't lose all hope on that. Peak recruitment time in Italy is generally around late August, kind of September time when the academic school year starts. as well as a secondary period around January after the Christmas holidays, but mostly employment is found around kind of August, September time. So you can either apply online, which is what I did, or just come to the country itself. From the UK, it's really cheap, get a Ryanair flight or something over to Italy, to Rome or to Bologna or to Milan, or even just to some of the smaller towns like where I am in Brindisi. Every town or most towns in Italy have language academies, and they always have teachers who are coming and going. So come to Italy sometime around August and visit every language academy. Make yourself look good, give yourself a decent haircut and have a shave, completely like I've not done, but just make yourself look good, brush up your CV, and just get out there, and you should have no problems whatsoever, especially if you have the aforementioned qualifications. But I found my gig online. I got very lucky. I had a Skype interview with my boss before I came here, and that was that. So yeah, so if anyone has any questions about TEFL generally in Italy, hit me up in the comments section and I'll try and answer as much as I can. And if I don't know, I'll try and have a look on the internet for you. But yeah, so any questions, feel free, hit us up in the comments section below and I'll tell you a bit more about life in Italy. So hopefully I will be making some more videos in the upcoming future. It's been a long time since I have made videos, so I'm hopefully going to try and keep on top of that as things are quieting down over the holidays and everything, as my partner is arriving in Italy as well. So we're just sorting everything out and everything. So anyway, any questions, hit us up. Peace out.